Welcome to African Boss. If it's your first time, please subscribe, and we're so happy to hit our first 100 subscribers. I know it's not 1,000 or a million, but we're happy to hit our first 100 subscribers because here at African Boss, we celebrate all our small victories and our big victories. So thank you so very much. So if you haven't subscribed, please do as we grow our channel and our community. Today we will discuss the Vice President of Malawi, the Right Honorable Saulosi Klaus Chilima, known as SKC. Malawians have this habit of calling their presidents and vice presidents by their initials. It's just easier for them. So SKC broke the internet lately for various reasons. One of them was because of his looks. The internet reckons he's a very good looking man and possibly the best looking vice president on the continent. What do we mean by the internet? It's the women mostly. I think it is, maybe some men too, yeah, But of course he's a good looking man and we are not against any good looking people. There is more to the vice president than his looks and his sporting activities. He's a very keen sports person. But incidentally, President of Malawi, Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, is also considered good looking. So they are a good looking pair. But anyway, let us look at the vice president for today. This gentleman was born on the 12th of February 1973. That makes him 47 years old, still a young man in the political cycles because you know that he's got a big future. He was born on at Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital in Blantyre. That's the southern part of Malawi, and his parents were Henderson Brown Chilima and his mother Elizabeth Frances Chilima. He went to primary school in that southern part of the country, and also went to from there he was selected to go into secondary school called Marist Brothers Ntendele Secondary School. From there he got selected to go into the University of Malawi Chancellor College. That is around 1990, where he studied economics as undergrad, and he completed that in 1994. So Malawian universities have 4-year degrees, maybe 5 for engineering and others. He also returned to the university in 2006, where he studied for a master's in economics, and on 10th of August 2015 he received his PhD in economics from the University of Bolton in the United Kingdom. In terms of his professional career, he worked in the private sector at this company after college, Lever Brothers, known as Unilever now, and then he worked for a company called Leasing and Finance Company of Malawi, and later on the Southern Bottlers of Malawi. The Southern Bottlers is also known for was known for its Carlsberg beer. If you don't know that beer, very famous beer in the southern part of Africa. And then his last job in the private sector was with Airtel Malawi. Airtel is quite a common phone technology company that's found on the African continent. Reports state that between the year 2010, when Saulosi Chilima was in charge as actually the boss or the managing director or the CEO, the company increased its revenue to about 75% in 3 years. So they grew from about 54 million US dollars in 2010 to making 95 million in 2013. So he made his name and people started to notice. And one of those people who noticed was the then opposition leader, Peter Mutharika, who handpicked him from the private sector. He said, "Come on, run with me. You'll be my my running mate, and you become the vice president if we win. So that is in 2013, and in 2014, they actually, on May 31st, they actually won the presidency. They won the government. The Democratic Progressive Party, the DPP, became the governing political party, with Peter Mutharika as president and Saulosi Klaus Chilima as the vice president. Now, that is the first time that the vice president actually became the vice president of Malawi. It is not that he's new. He is not new at all. The only time since then, since 2014 till now, the only time that SKC has not been the vice president of Malawi was between May 28th in 2019 to February 2020. So that's a period of 8 months. But apart from that, he's been the vice president of Malawi since then. In keeping with the whole general trajectory of African politics, now the vice president SKC, after a few years, was sidelined by then president. He was put on the outer. He was no longer functioning as the vice president. He was just the vice president in name only. One of the reasons why is because he was an outsider. So he was up against it from the very beginning. Because obviously there were some political diehards and long stayers that actually wanted to be the vice president, and where did they come from, sort of thing, and other reasons. On July 21st in 2018, Chilima launched his own political party called United Transformation Movement, UTAIM, and they contested in the May 2019 elections. He actually came third in that election. First was the Peter Mutharika, second was Lazarus Chakwera of the Malawi Congress Party, and third was Saulosi Chilima of the UTAIM. But Saulosi Chilima then went to the courts and said that, contested that the elections were not free and fair and there were lots of irregularities. He was soon joined by the Malawi Congress Party, and actually they won that case. The election was reversed. It was scrapped, and they said that Malawians should go back and vote in February 2020. Remember, that's the only period that he wasn't the vice president. So Malawians went to vote in 2020, and they actually voted that government out, and then they put the president, the current president, Dr. Chakwera, and his vice president, Saulosi Chilima, in power. Yeah, that's how they became the pair. They actually were in an alliance in that election. They formed a political alliance. The UTAIM and Malawi Congress Party formed a political alliance against the party, the governing party at that time. Now, Malawi made history by becoming the only second African country for the courts to reverse an election because of irregularities, after Kenya, if you remember. But they made further history by actually then voting the governing party out of power and voting in the opposition. So those are very historical events that have happened, that have only not affected Malawi but the whole African continent. They have started on a good foot. They're trying to reverse the fortunes of this country. SKC, the vice president, doubles as the Minister of Economic Development, and also he's in charge of public sector reforms. So they're trying to turn around the way the country operates. They want a new way of operating the civil service and everything else. Basically, they're fighting against corruption, and they're trying to turn the country around. So far, they have had a good start. So thank you so much. I know there's a lot about this gentleman, but we'll talk about him and other things about Malawi, a country that I believe is on the move next time. So thank you for joining us.